to the Every Day is a New Day show. My name is Kim O'Neill, and I am so happy that you are here with us today. Before we move into the show, let's take a moment to be fully present, bringing your being in your full power right now by shaking off whatever is weighing you down, whatever might be showing up in the moment with you, getting in the way of anything you're trying to focus on, think about. We all know what that's like, right? I know I do. And you actually get to have more clarity when you allow yourself to release what's in the way and be more present to what's taking place right now. So whatever's going on for you, just take a moment to breathe, shake it off. This is your moment. This is your life. And you are an amazing being here in the world. I think someone needed that reminder. So, okay, I'm going to begin with a quote that relates to today's topic. I am excited to share with you today's guest. And so first, we're going to start with a quote by Marianne Williamson. Love her. Feminine power isn't something we go out and acquire. It's already within us. It's something we become willing to experience, something to admit we have. I like that. I like that a lot. With that, I'm going to go ahead and share with you a little bit more about today's guest, and then we are going to bring her up on screen and have a really awesome conversation. So today's guest is Anna Sneed. Anna Sneed is an empowerment coach who helps women learn how to sync their cycle so they can be the fullest expression of themselves in the world. With 16 years of teaching, leading, and administering at the high school level, it was her passion for personal growth that ignited her drive to pursue life coaching. And today we're going to be talking more about why it's important for women to learn how to sync their cycle. And so welcome, Anna. How are you?
Hi. I am so hyped. That quote was everything. It gave me chills, and I'm so happy to be here with you talking about this.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you. And yeah, so I just to share with everybody, Anna and I, we've just barely met, and I saw her talking about women syncing their cycle. I'm just like, oh my gosh, we as a collective women, we gotta talk about this. Let's talk about this. And I'm glad that quote resonated for you. I'm gonna pop it back up on the screen for a moment because, something to admit we have, what are your thoughts?
It's everything. Like, I've got a 6-year-old daughter, and being able to pour that into her now, she is going to be can I cuss? She is going to be a badass walking through this world in her power that we were taught. I don't know if you were taught that it was this crippling thing. Our femininity was a weakness, and we can't lead, and we can't do. Oh, it is not, we have it, and it's powerful. Like, we can create and sustain life. Like, how badass is that?
It's super badass, and I love that you even use that word. and I want to acknowledge that some women have been outright taught, no, don't do this, don't behave like that, don't be powerful, don't be strong, whatever it might look like. And for others, and this is the one I can relate to, that we were also taught that, but indirectly. It was more so, right? It was the unspoken things, the examples, because so many other women, that's what was norm is, right? Not to own your power. And so that's it, that's what's been modeled for you. And it just keeps going down the generational trail.
Yes, it's so just covertly woven through a lot of our lives. And yeah, like, not even allowed to have a tampon wrapper, the wrapper in the trash. Like, nobody needs to know that this is happening in your life. It sends such a powerful message at such a young age. Oh,
that example is powerful. Yes, there's those things that are I can hear some people cringing just even at the thought of some of this, and that just like and it's okay. Like, it's all like, it's all good. Like it's so good to recognize what comes up for us. What are we feeling about that? And then what do we want to do with that? Because we want to move through things, and no one has to believe something they don't want to believe. But if something shows up for you, what is it teaching you? What is it there to show you? So, okay, I could go on a whole
I love
other
that.
journey
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we are going to be talking today, of course, about women syncing their cycle. And
Mhm.
I want to just get to my first question for you. How did you become so interested in this subject?
Oh my gosh. Well, becoming a mom, I became a mom kind of late in life. I was considered a geriatric pregnancy, and yeah, yeah. And after having my daughter, I was thinking about birth control and all these things, and I just did not want to be on this pill forever. And I figured there was a better way, and took this deep dive into my cycle. And I always said when I was on my period, I was on my cycle. I never used the terminology of that the whole 28, 29, 32, whatever days is your whole cycle. And then there's phases in your cycle. And I was like, huh, I really don't feel like grinding it out at the gym today. Last week I felt like I was great. I had like a personal record last week, and this week, and I would beat myself up about it, and I would drag myself in. I would either end up getting hurt or have some emotion flood happening, and it just led me to figure out what is going on in my body that's making this happen. I connected with a nutrition coach. She's an integrative nutrition coach, a functional medicine doctor, and just started all these conversations around what is happening in my body and how can I make that work for me? Because I tell my clients all the time, when you're working against biology, it just doesn't work. If you're a morning person, why are you working till 2 in the morning? Like the quality of your work is not going to be there. It's just going to mess you all up. So go with your flow, pun intended. And so, yeah, I said, I bet I can do this with my cycle. I bet I can figure out how I should be moving and physically moving my body and moving through the world and eating and interacting. I bet I could figure that out. And voila.
I love that. For everyone who's with us, wherever you're listening or watching us today, has this been something that you have ever considered? Because I will say one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to Anna is because I've heard bits and pieces of this out in the world, and I've started to have like some of what you just described. I've noticed with me too. I'm like, okay, I was like a powerhouse last week, and now I'm like, where did it all go? What's going on here? And I've considered about the cycle, but I haven't really delved into it. And I love that. I love knowing that this is a thing, because I think there's probably a lot of women out there going, oh my gosh, something's wrong with me. And
Yes.
if we start to shift our perspective on it through understanding, like you said, biology, it's how our bodies work.
Yes. And I found out that men's hormones cycle every 24 hours and ours cycle every 28 to 30 something days. Like that blew my mind. It changed
Wow.
my concept of time, really. Because
Okay.
before we industrialized as a nation, here's my history teacher brain, we followed the moon and the cycles of the moon. And what else cycles every month is our bodies. And imagine thinking, oh, I have 28 days to get this done instead of I've got 24 hours to get this done. Oh,
Wow.
it was game changer for me.
Definitely. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper of, why this is so important. Like what
Yeah.
are some of some of the benefits that start to show up when women do this? Why is this important?
Oh my gosh, I just feel that it like unlocks this level in your life that allows you to move through authentically you. Like it's you. You're catering your life to exactly what you and your spirit and your body need. And
Okay.
there's so much freedom in that.
So one of the first I hear that, and like one of the first questions that's coming up is, well, but wait a second, if I look at the cycles, well then does that mean I really only have like one good week out of a month that I can actually get stuff done? That's
No,
not going to work for me.
no. So your hormones rise and fall during the week if you're not taking birth control, any type of chemical birth control. And so there's just certain time. There's a time and a season for everything. There's a time
Right.
that you should be connecting with other people. There's a time that you should be recording all your podcasts. There's a time that you should be going within yourself and taking account of things and nesting. Like there's a time for everything. And when you know that, like I originally started with block scheduling. Like I would block time out, right? And so if
Yeah.
this is the time to be doing housework, I didn't have to worry about anything else. And so the same is with your cycle. If this is the time that you should be hitting the ground running and doing sales pitches and things like that, you're going to be way more productive if you're trying to than if you're trying to do that in your luteal phase when you should be cleaning out your pantry and journaling and crying to yourself or whatever, you know? So there's freedom in knowing there's time for that.
Okay. Okay, so that's wonderful. What I hear is really matching your energy level or your hormone level with the activities that you're going to be able to be most productive with. There was another question that showed up and it just kind of walked away. So hopefully it'll come right back.
Okay. Bring it back.
Oh, about women with irregular cycles.
Yeah.
How about them? How does this work for them?
Okay. So when your cycle is irregular, there's a lot of different things. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm super passionate about all of this stuff. And so knowing the phases of your cycle, you can kind of pinpoint where the issue is. If you're noticing a longer follicular cycle, there's a reason for that. And there's certain things you can do to kind of get it back on track. Or there's a conversation you can have with your practitioner, whoever that is, and get yourself to what is quote unquote normal for you. So there's ranges that are good and healthy. And then there's some like your cycle shouldn't be less than 21 days. That means you're having your period like twice a month and there's something going on. And it shouldn't be 75 days long. There's something going on. And knowing which phase the issue is going to help you pinpoint the problem and be able to address it. And in most cases, it's a diet and exercise fix. It's a stress management fix. It's not here, take this pill fix.
What have you noticed any common themes with, like what some of the challenges are that women deal with when they're trying to sync their cycle and shift their life around it?
Yes. The first thing that pops up is guilt. Like my first client was like, I just feel like you're letting me off the hook. I just started this new workout routine and you're telling me now's the time I should be resting. And I just feel like you're just being nice to me. And I'm like, no, actually you said, these are your words. Like it was hard for you today to even want to work out. And last week you were a beast. So what if you honored your body? And women are not taught, we're taught to be small and to be quiet and to be cute and, to fit in this nice little, patriarchy pocket. And we're not taught that our feelings are legitimate feelings. Like we talk about our very first period and what that was like. And a lot of us were in school and we didn't get to lay on the couch and, wrap ourselves in nice, warm, comfy blankets and just rest. We had to go to basketball tryouts and we had to go to band and, we had to just get over it because every woman has had this. So the first problem is acknowledging that you deserve to do this and that it's going to be helpful for you.
I love that. So I love that we started to talk about this element of it, because what I hear showing up is that through looking at a woman's cycle and how can she, shift her life around the cycle, sync her cycle, sync her cycle, right? We don't need to, I feel like there can be a block around the word shifting your life around your cycle and people assuming that that's not valuable. But when you talk about syncing, then you feel more alignment and ease. It's really good. I like that. But what I hear coming up is this is also a much deeper conversation about self-care and self-love.
Definitely. It's super hard. It is. Because again, we're not even taught that we're even allowed to talk about this. Like if I cut my finger off, I could post 15 pictures online and talk about my stitches and talk about changing my dressing. I could do all of that. But something that every woman does and experiences from a very young age for some of us, we cannot even discuss that it's even happening. it's an excuse, or, oh, it doesn't hurt that bad, or, oh, you're not that tired, or, oh, you know? And so if you've always been taught to just stuff that in, nobody wants to deal with that side of you. Yeah, that's going to be the hardest part because you've subscribed to that notion. You've had no choice, really.
This is really good because we're in this time in the world of things coming to light, and
Mm.
like what a wow, like to think of something that it has literally always been there from the beginning of time. The first
It's
woman
how
who's
we
ever
all got
lived.
here, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. To bring that into the light of day, of worthy of looking at, of acknowledging, of placing value on it, and recognizing that if that's so valuable, gosh, you are valuable. And when you line up with that, when you sync with that, whoa, I love flow in my life. So every time I can find areas where there can be more flow, I'm like, oh, thank goodness I can have greater ease. I can enjoy my life more. I'm not here to be miserable.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
continually, right? No, I mean,
Yes. And so now my period is this lovely thing. I get so excited. My friends think I've got 5 heads when I say this, but I'm like, it's like my monthly report card. It lets me know how I fed my body, how I fueled my body, how I've moved my body, just by all the little subtle changes. The symptoms, the premenstrual symptoms, that the symptoms that happen ahead of time, lets me know if I was nurturing my body the way I needed to. It's a report card. And me being a former teacher, I'm like, I love to hear how I did so I can make adjustments and go in my own flow and ease. Yeah, 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 yeah. I love it.
okay, that's so good that you started talking about tracking, because I know you have a tracker. Let's
Yes.
talk about that. I want to show everyone Anna's tracker here on screen, Power Hour tracker. Tell everyone more about this.
Okay. So when everything shut down in 2020, I was home with an almost out of toddlerhood and my husband, who's a football coach and teacher with the loudest voice in all the land. And it got a lot. I worked from home and I was not used to having all of that in my space. And so I said, I just need an hour every day. If I can fill myself up each day with just 1 hour, then I have my cup is full enough to give to everybody else. And I'm at the end of the day, I'm not pissed and angry at everybody in my household. And so I would spend 10 minutes a day on meditation, 10 minutes of reading. I would set a timer and just read for 10 minutes. I would journal. I have manifestations and I would set my intentions for the day. And so I created what I called my power hour. In 30 minutes was working out. And so every day, this was an hour to myself that brought me my own personal power. And so recently, I created the journal that has each one of those different elements where you can track. And on there, of course, you're tracking what day you are on your cycle. And so that helps you set your intentions for that day. And my manifestation lines, I write the same thing every single day with what I'm manifesting. And I have my section called I'm That Chick Because, and I write down why you're that chick. Like, it's my book of proof. Whenever I have that itty bitty shitty committee pop in my head, I can go back in my tracker and say, oh, that's right, I am that chick. Kim invited me on her podcast. So yes, and I can remind myself, yeah, that I'm a badass, and it's all right there on the tracker. And it's 90 days, and it's just, I get my favorite cozy blanket and light my diffuser and find a comfy spot in the house, and I just get to spend an hour with myself, and it makes all the difference.
I love that, Anna, because yeah, that's another thing that can kind of get in the way of all these things that we women want to accomplish. Us women with big goals, big dreams, or big to-do lists, whatever it might be, is to, I partly lost my train of thought, Jana. That's I'm thinking of all the bigness.
We
give and give, and okay, it came back. Thank you for that. Is to think that I'm only this one aspect, but you're helping people remember that they are that chick. So yeah, you might be that woman who is in that phase of her cycle where she's breaking down, crying, feeling hormonal, and you're still that chick who has accomplished this. You're both and. That's what I wanted to say.
Yes, you have to remind yourself of who you are. And we do forget. We do forget
Yeah.
as we are. And sometimes I went and checked the mail today and I didn't want to leave the house. I'm that chick because, it's okay and we're hard on ourselves, and giving yourself grace and reminding yourself who you are is the quickest way to snap out of it.
I love it. Okay, tell everyone where they can go to get a copy of your Power Hour tracker.
Awesome. It's on Amazon. And if you follow me on Instagram, there's a quick link. Of course, the Amazon link is long and crazy, but if you just search the Power Hour tracker, you're going to see all kinds of fabulously polished trackers. And then mine will be on the list. But it's just a daily journal for manifesting the life of your dreams and just tracking it all. I just believe in data, data, data. And yeah. So check it out on on Amazon. And I hope you can make it part of your daily routine, because feeding yourself first is revolutionary, and it's the biggest act of self-care that you can do.
It is. It makes a huge difference, especially when ish is hitting the fan. That's my alternate word. Yeah. So when ish is hitting the okay. And I love, there's a quote or non-quote, I don't know, it's out there in the world, that if you don't have 10 minutes to meditate, well, then you need to meditate for an hour. Because
exactly.
Right?
If you don't have an hour out of 24 that is for you, you're doing it wrong. You're doing life wrong. And it's okay that you've been doing it wrong, but let's turn that ship around, because you can't pour from an empty cup, you know?
Exactly. You can't pour from an empty cup. And another way I've come to think of that is that, like, we are the cup. Like I am my cup. Anna is her own cup. You are your own cup. And are you leaking? Are you pouring in and just leaking it all out because you're not taking care of yourself?
And there's just so much power. Like, my daughter knows, oh, mommy, are you doing your power hour? Like, I had to train her and my husband, like, no, this is my time. And I'm modeling that for her. So my mom was a stay-at-home mom with 4 kids and ran herself completely ragged. I love her to death. She's the best grandmother in the world. I want my daughter to see that self-love is more important than what you're doing out in the world, and that she can take the time to give herself what she needs. And or even if it's just sitting and staring at the wall, it's your time. Do with it what you want. Yeah.
And in that time, okay, in that time, got to say this too. Feel what, like allow yourself to feel your emotions, even if you're a person who's like, what f that I don't want to feel I don't want to feel anything or whatever. yeah just go at your own pace, but that's an easy way to ease into you doing it your way. Maybe you're like, I don't want to deal with the emotions, but I've got to start taking time for myself. Then fine, then just sit there, and you're both, and it's okay. Love what comes up. And
I love that. I do. And that was the whole point of the tracker, is for people to make it their own. And so I love when people tag me and show me how they've done it. They've added a little column or, whatever, and changed it for what they want, because it's just a guide. And a lot of people aren't used to just sitting and being still. And this kind of gives you an outline or a template to follow if you don't even know what to do with this hour of your time. You would never even considered having an hour in your day. So yeah, it's powerful.
I for anybody out there who's thinking that you don't have time to, oh my gosh, Anna, my thoughts keep leaving. And so this is I'm going to model right now of how you can have some really great things to say and put yourself out there in the world, podcasting, whatever, and sometimes lose your train of thought and feel like, what the heck is going on? And it's okay. It happens.
And it's okay. It happens. You've got a lot going on.
Anyway, I was going to say something about limiting beliefs. All those things in the way from us taking time to honor ourselves. Every single one is a limiting belief. Every single one. So anything that you're saying to yourself that is not kind, if you were to think, gosh, what if I said this to someone else? What? You don't have time to take care of yourself. Okay, if you just said that to yourself, say that to your friend. How nice is that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you never will.
Right. You never would. That there's a limiting belief in there. So, okay. It was going to be around that. So With that said, okay, you believe that there's two key elements that play a role in this: integrity and boundaries. And I know we've kind of been kind of dancing around that in different ways with what we've already spoken about, but
Yeah.
would you say a little bit more about integrity and how that plays a role in all of
Ooh.
this?
Integrity, when I use that word with my clients, it like hits them in the chest because they attach it to like morals. And I
Uh-huh.
have to like, if your actions are not matching what you value, you're not walking in integrity. If you value love and grace and ease, but you're grinding every day and you have no idea what's happening with your body and you're shoveling crap in your mouth and you're ripping and running, you're not in integrity. If you're rushing around every day and you're short circuiting and you're, cussing your kid out, you're not walking in integrity, because there's no way you would say, yeah, I value cussing at my kids and having road rage and showing
Right.
up late everywhere I go. You would never say that. You value time, you value ease, you value your relationships, but you can't say you do that if, number one, you don't have a relationship with yourself and what's happening in your body. And so I feel like part of this is walking in integrity and being the fullest version of yourself.
It goes right back to alignment and flow,
Mhm.
being in greater flow. Because I agree. The very first time I ever heard someone use the word integrity in a different context, I was like, whoa, what? Like that's it sounds
Rude.
offensive at first,
Yeah.
right? But it's so true. Are things matching up? Are they lining up? And it's a great way to be able to look at it in that way. So now let's talk about boundaries. How do
Mm.
boundaries play a role in
Oh
syncing cycles and
gosh.
all that?
Definitely. You're building boundaries around your body, around your time, around who you're going to interact with. It's a beautiful thing. And I like to use the analogy when I'm thinking about boundaries is you're rushing out the door to get to the airport and you get out to the main highway and there's no lines and it's just chaos. There's people driving whichever way they want to. How secure
Oh,
are you going to feel? How productive are you going to be getting to the airport in time? You're not. You need these lines to say this is where I'm going to be and to let everybody else know where you're going to be and where they need to be. So, yeah, talking to my husband, he'll ask me a question. He asked me this question and I was like, I don't know, I'm luteal right now. I can't go there with you. And he's like, I don't know what that means. Like you keep saying this every month that you're luteal. I don't know what that means. And so I've created this whole tool that goes on the mirror that shows him each phase of my cycle. And yeah, yeah, they just came out of production. I just pulled them out of the box. Um, and so it says what my body needs, how I should move, and what's happening with my hormones. And so I've got this built in boundary that he and my daughter
wow.
can see. It's on the mirror in the bathroom. They can see, oh, mommy's on her period. She's not going to work out today. And she's probably not going to want to play at the park with me. Like it's a boundary. It's set. Like everyone knows where to move. I know where I'm supposed to move. And I don't have to get frustrated or short, and they aren't walking on eggshells. It's a beautiful thing. Boundaries are.
That is freaking awesome. I love that. And I also see tons of empowerment in that because I
Mm,
can see the women who are still working on self-love and being able to embrace that. I can see them hearing the word boundaries and going, what? I can't have boundaries with, my husband or my kids or whatever, right? To be able to think about boundaries in a new way like that. And so I want to throw out the word structure, noticing how
mm.
structure it can be similar, and how does that shift it so you can recognize, yeah, this allows me to help them more, be there for them more because you're there for yourself first. I don't know if you do you happen to have a copy of like what you just described? You said it just was in print and you have.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a little window cling. It just came out of production. I've had some women beta testing it, so I will definitely send you one. But it sticks to the
Oh,
mirror, and there's a little arrow that you move around, and it shows you each phase and what you should be doing and what's happening in your body. And it's a communication tool for yourself. Like I have the apps on my phone, but you actually have to go in them. This is right there. And it reminds me, okay, yeah, I should probably be doing cardio right now instead of lifting weights, or now's the time for stretching, or now's the time to just stay on the couch because I'm menstruating and I should be wearing soft things. And it lets my husband know when to bring me chocolate and tell me I'm pretty.
love it, love it.
Yeah.
Okay, And how can, I know it just came out of production. Do you want to say anything about how people can access that, or I don't know if that's set up yet?
It's not set up yet. I have my Sync Your Cycle program, and all the women in that program are getting one and a tracker, but it will be on my website, hopefully by the end of the week, for purchase. So I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm almost excited about, I can't decide which baby I love the most right now with my journal or this window cling, because the women that have been interacting with it, they're having different conversations with their family. They're having different conversations with themselves, and it's just a beautiful thing.
Wow.
It's so empowering.
And tell everyone what your website is.
Oh gosh, it's my old last name. It's aglasgowcoach.com. A Glasgow, like the city in Scotland, coach.com.
I just want to put that up on the screen for everybody. Where to go? Awesome. aglasgowcoach.com. Okay. And you're also on Instagram. And so let's tell everyone where they can go on Instagram. Anna Sneed _empowerment coach. You can connect with her there.
Yes, I love Insta. I love posting all the things. Yeah, y'all come check me out. I just launched this program this week, and I'm super fired up about it. So you reached out like right when I launched this thing. So this is awesome.
Awesome. Well, I could see it. I was like, oh, okay, this needs to come out more. We need to talk about this more. So, okay, Anna, thank you so much for being here today. This was wonderful. I absolutely know that we could say so much more about cycles and everything else that shows up with it, the limiting beliefs, the self-love, the self-care, the boundaries, the integrity, the alignment, the flow. Oh my gosh. And how valuable it is to take a look at all that. And just, we don't have to eat the whole elephant at once, but like, what's that one little thing you can start to do now to have greater ease and flow today? Because you're worth it.
I love that.
Hello.
Yeah, you're worth it.
Oh, Anna, do you have any final words?
I don't. I'm just so grateful that you reached out and that I'm here today. I cannot wait to see how you apply this, and I just want more women to be more confident and in integrity and authentic in their lives with their cycles. So
I'm with you on that authentic piece for sure. So yes. Okay. Well, Anna, thank you so much for being here today. It was really wonderful speaking with you and learning more about this.
This was fun. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to say goodbye to Anna. I'm going to pop you down into lobby. I'll see you again very, very soon.
Okay.
And I want to just simply close out with you. Thank you for being here today. And before you go, take a moment to ask yourself, what am I taking away from this conversation? How does this, what did this add to your day, to your awareness of your experience with your cycle? Even if you have an irregular cycle, there's still ways to find greater flow. I love that Anna was able to speak to some of that, right? Finding what works for you. It's not about being cookie cutter and fitting yourself into a box. And actually that's a point I wanted to make earlier too. I personally believe none of us fit into a box. As much as we might think we do, nobody fits into a box. And so the more that you can allow yourself to honor yourself and recognize, I'm going to go back to the both and, right? You are the employee, you are the mom, you are the sister, the daughter, the whatever it may be. And you're a woman, you're having your experiences. They're all valuable. You get to be all of it. I could say so much more. So remember, wherever you are today does not have to be where you are tomorrow. And wherever you were yesterday does not have to be where you are today. Making those subtle little shifts get to, allow us to shift into these new experiences of being able to love ourselves more in the present moment. You are worthy, you deserve that. And I hope you always remember that. If you'd like to find out more about the Every Day is a New Day show or Kim O'Neill Coaching, you can always go to, of course, KimO'NeillCoaching.com. And I'd love to connect with you there. You can also, again, remember, connect with Anna over on Instagram or on her website, aglasgowcoach.com, either one. And of course, her Instagram was Anna Sneed _empowerment coach. Have an amazing day, everybody. Remember, you are worth it. You're both and you're doing a great job. Have an amazing day. I'll see y'all again soon.